All right, we're trading three big movers in today's three-stock lunch. Boeing up nearly 5% after CEO Dave Calhoun told investors that the drip, drip, drip of bad news should stop soon. Wells Fargo up 7% after a positive stress test from the Fed paves the way for banks to boost dividends. And Bausch Health companies jumping 17%. On the heels of a C-suite shakeup. Lee Munson is Portfolio Wealth Advisors President and CEO. Let's go through the stocks. Lee, beginning with Boeing, which is just announced it's going to move to my hometown of Arlington, Virginia.
You know, stranger things have happened. Let me tell you, Boeing does have this drip, drip, drip. I think it's going to stop. Here's what they have to do, because they've already told us the supply chain is going to be a problem until the end of 2023, and it's baked into the price. But if they can get that certification, that little golden letter, that golden ticket that says the 777X is ready to sell, I think it's going to be a real game changer because it's going to be a high demand plane. But they've had problems with the 787, and luckily the public doesn't remember the 737 MAX crashes in that debacle. So you've got a company that has one of the most complex supply chain issues that has ever occurred in any type of company here, and we might see in 18 months that lift. So I actually think that you've got 40, 50, 60% on upside on Boeing, and maybe only about 20, 25% if they can't execute. Again, this is not about the moves. It's not about the drip, drip, drip. It's about, can they deliver these planes the way that they've said, and can they get certified on the 777X? I think they can. I think you should consider it.
All right, let's turn to Wells Fargo then in the wake of these stress tests. What would you do with this one, Lee?
You know, I've hated Wells Fargo for years. I really, you know, as somebody in the banking industry, I felt very betrayed by the scandals and the fraud from 6 years ago. It was 6 years ago. The public doesn't remember. So now we've got the new sheriff in town, the new CEO that's been there for like 3 years right now, okay? And he's doing the right things. First of all, the stress test, of course they're going to do well. If you have so many tickets, you got to drive 10 miles under the speed limit. Of course, you're not going to do a bunch of risky loans. You're going to have flying colors. But I love the banks. I want to buy banks right now. I think Wells Fargo can go back into a basket, you know, things like JP Morgan, Bank of America, of these big money center banks. Why? Because these consent orders are starting to lift. These are the handcuffs they've had in regulation, and they've started to get lifted last year. They're going to continue to be lifted off. The regulators are easing back. And this new CEO, he's very clear. He wants to get out of the mortgage business because you can't compete with non-banks, and they want to start doing wealth management, credit cards, to compete with the big boys. I think they can finally pull it off. And so if you're looking at a basket, I would finally start considering Wells Fargo not a value trap anymore.
And a quick final thought on Bausch Health company.
What a dumpster fire. I mean, you know, it goes up because some guy who did a magic trick, John Paulson, from 14 years ago, what has he done since then? What famous call has he done since he's on the board? It has to do with this Solta IPO. It's a skincare thing. They want to spin it off. They couldn't do it. They already had the Bausch & Lomb IPO go. Is real, you know, bad timing, didn't really work well. So I would be, if you're along this, I would look at it as a perfect opportunity to get out. Let it base out, see what's going to happen. This is a great stock if you're an armchair, wannabe hedge fund manager, and you're looking for some sort of overly complex, kind of dodgy trade. But I just don't see, once they get rid of everything, I mean, their core business, this was valiant.
Yeah.
People went to jail over this company. Oh.
We got to leave it there. But
Tell
man,
us how you really feel.
how does Lee love it, man? Stake in the ground, man. Lee Munson, appreciate it.